Hello, everybody. We're about to go live on Facebook. Actually, we are live on Facebook, and we're just going to give a few minutes for everybody else to join, and we'll get started.
We see a lot of people logging on. That's great. Maybe we should wait another minute or so.
Yeah, let's wait about a minute. So let's get started. My name is Zareh Keosian. I am a partner at Keosian Law, and with me is Eileen Keusseyan. She has been practicing law for over 33 years, so she brings with her a great amount of experience and knowledge in the legal industry, and we're glad to have you here with us on our Facebook Live today, Eileen.
Thank you.
By way of introduction, many of you already know that our law firm is a civil litigation law firm. We handle primarily personal injury cases involving catastrophic injuries, serious injuries, wrongful death cases, property damage cases involving water, fire, wind, burglary, vandalism, and theft, tree cases, especially when it involves wind, when the tree falls on structures, cars that run into structures and cause damage to either residential or commercial property, loss of income claims, and earthquake claims. We also handle business litigation and transactional matters, and mass torts and class action matters. Today, we are here, as the caption says, we're here to inform and enlighten the Armenian community about the lawsuits that have been filed and being filed against Citibank regarding their alleged wrongful and discriminatory conduct, which started in or around 2015 through 2021. Given the reputation of our law firm and the reputation that we've built in the community, we've had the privilege of representing thousands of you in the past and have already received hundreds of phone calls regarding this Citibank matter, especially from Armenians who have been impacted by Citibank's wrongful conduct and discriminatory conduct, more importantly. Before we begin the details of the case, I'd like to mention two important things. First, on or about November 7, 2023, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, this is an administrative agency, they already concluded and ruled that in a legal proceeding and an illegal administrative proceeding, that in no uncertain terms, that Citibank has in fact already violated a set of regulations, acts, and laws. And these regulations were discriminatory in nature and harmful to Armenians, especially those who have a last name that ends with IAN or YAN. And they've mostly targeted individuals who reside in Glendale or the surrounding areas. And unfortunately, that is something that we're dealing with right now. And so I wanted to mention that to all the Armenians. The second distinguishing fact that I wanted to mention here today is the difference between a class action case and a mass tort case. In a class action, it's a legal proceeding, it's a lawsuit that gets filed in which one plaintiff or a few plaintiffs bring a lawsuit on behalf of a very large amount of plaintiffs, and those individuals are referred to as the class. Any proceeds that are recovered from a class are shared amongst the members of the class. Our office has already filed a class action lawsuit against Citibank. Yes, we've already filed that lawsuit. But I want to distinguish this from the mass tort lawsuits. A mass tort action or a mass action involves a group of harmed individuals from a defendant. There we go. A mass tort involves a group of harmed individuals, but each person must prove their individual damages. So it's a little bit different than a class action, and each individual person will be named as a plaintiff. Our office will be filing mass tort actions against Citibank individually. So if you've been affected in any way or impacted by Citibank's wrongful discriminatory conduct, now is the time to reach out to us to discuss your potential case so that we can include you and your family in the action. Eileen, I'm going to pass it to you to discuss the details of the case.
Okay, thank you, Zareh, and thank you for that introduction. I appreciate it. So as Zareh said, there are many discriminatory acts that Citibank engaged in. What are these discriminatory acts? Well, I'm going to number them for you so that you see if you fall into one of these categories. One of them is the denial of new credit. If you applied for a credit card and you were denied, that's a discriminatory act, and I'm going to explain to you why. Second, if you were denied a credit line increase, or if you were denied a credit card limit increase. Next would be if they close your savings or your checkings account without explanation, or if they decreased or lowered your credit card limits or your credit line limits if you had one. Next would be if you applied for a commercial loan of some sort and you were denied, or if you applied for a mortgage to purchase your residence and you were denied, or if you just applied for any type of a business loan and you were denied, or if you had any one of these, let's say you had a business loan in effect, and all of a sudden, even though you were making your payments timely, all of a sudden your loan, your credit line, your business line of credit is closed and no explanation at all. Or in other instances where you have made a deposit into a Citibank account, for example, and they have failed to release the funds for a very unreasonable amount of time, and the only reason they've said is it's for security reasons. At times, they have also failed to release these funds to you, even though you made a good deposit, again, without explanation. We've also had a situation, several situations actually, where SBA loans have been deposited into Citibank accounts, and Citibank has held on to it. And at the end of the day, they haven't released the funds. And in fact, they have returned the monies back to the SBA. And if you, for example, qualified and received an approval for a $250,000 loan, they've only sent you $5,000. And these are real life situations that that clients have approached us with. And the only reason at times that they have provided is security reasons. Well, this is discriminatory because the real reason is not provided to the applicants as to why they were denied, decreased, or have lost their loans. And the real reason that they concealed is, like Zareh said, it's because they look at the applicant, they see that the applicant has a last name of IAN or YAN in most instances, and now, by the way, it has gone beyond that, and the denials or the impacted clients that are coming forward are Armenian without an IAN or YAN last name. But in the instant action where they were penalized by the Consumer Protection Bureau, they were found to discriminate against Armenians, applicants who have Armenian last names of IAN or YAN. And that became the real reason of the denial in all of these factors that I just discussed with you. And what they did is this is called stereotyping. It's racial profiling, and that's not okay. That's exactly what they did. And what the Consumer Protection Bureau discovered is through their internal investigation, here's what they discovered, which is really, really gruesome. It was revealed that some of the Citibank employees used terms such as likely to commit fraud, referring to Armenians. Armenians are bust-out applicants. A bust-out applicant is someone who gets a loan or a credit line, leaves the country, or otherwise just doesn't pay it. They called Armenians, the Armenians are the bad guys. And the worst one, Armenians are Southern California Armenian Mafia if they have a last name ending in IAN or YAN. I mean, this is atrocious. Internal investigations also revealed that applicants of other national origin, non-Armenians, whatever their nationality may be, who were in the identical financial position as an Armenian applicant, were granted whatever service they applied for. So if they applied for a credit card, credit line, business loan, whatever the case may be, if they were non-Armenian, but in the same identical position, if not in a worse position than an Armenian applicant, they were denied. Again, this is racial profiling, and this is not okay. And simply because there's an IAN or YAN last name affiliated with the applicant. And other than being labeled as a bad guy or as a applicant who is probably going to commit fraud if we extend this line of credit or bank account, they had no other explanation. And this is why they were penalized. And I think they paid a large amount of sanctions. Like, right, Zareh? How much were the sanctions? About
approximately $27 million from what I recall.
Exactly. So the liability is already there. As Zareh said, we filed a class action lawsuit. We're going to be filing several mass tort actions addressing all the clients that have contacted us already. Keep in mind, racial profiling is not okay, and that's what they did. So give us a call.
And I'd like to mention one thing. This type of case requires a special type of or level of knowledge, experience, and extensive resources. So we have a history of collaborating with other law firms who have referred these type of cases to our office in the past, and we've handled those claims for them and their clients, and successfully recovered over $400 million for individuals who have been harmed by wrongdoers, such as, as we proceed against Citibank. So we invite those law firms again to collaborate with us. Just by way of example, we were recently involved in the very large Porter Ranch gas leak settlement that resolved for $1.8 billion. We represented thousands of those individuals who were impacted by the gas leak. We also represented many clients involving the Woolsey fire case, and recovered significant sums of money in that mass tort action. The Saddle Ridge action, which involved a lot of people in the San Fernando Valley area. We are actively involved in the Maui fires, the Ohio train derailment case, and a few other large mass tort actions that we are working on extensively. So again, this requires a special level of expertise, knowledge, and resources, and we're ready, willing, and able to assist you if you have been impacted by Citibank's wrongful conduct, discriminatory conduct, and we await your calls. Our phone number is 877-554-2226, 877-554-2226. We look forward to speaking with you. You can also message us through our website, keosianlaw.com. We are active on all social media platforms. So we look forward to speaking with you if you've been impacted by this case. And I thank all the listeners.
Yeah, thank you, Zareh. But before we sign off, we're receiving some questions here. So one of the questions is, and let's just address a few of them. How do I know if I qualify? Are there any requirements? Well, the answer to that is basically to give us a call and let us know how you were impacted. You would qualify if, for example, at some point in time, the simplest example I can give is this. Let's say you had a credit card with Citibank and you had a $10,000 limit. You went ahead, you used it, you purchased what you needed to. Perhaps it was some big ticket items like appliances or whatnot, and you paid it. And you paid it off in a timely manner. In fact, you paid it off even earlier. And we have this situation with a lot of our clients. And all of a sudden, for absolutely no reason, they reduce your $10,000 limit to $500. No explanation. If your credit score is good, if you have not filed for bankruptcy recently, I don't mean filing for bankruptcy 15, 20 years ago. If you haven't filed for bankruptcy recently and your credit score is good, and this happens to you where your credit line is decreased, your credit card amount, available credit is decreased after you make payments, after you've utilized it with absolutely no reason, you qualify. You most certainly do. So what you should do is give us a call at 877-554-2226. Let us look at your situation. Let us consult with you, and we'll let you know.
Thank you.
I think that's about it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining.